The room fell completely silent the moment the older couple reached across the polished kitchen island, smiled warmly, and congratulated my realtor on being my wife. I had spent months walking through empty houses that only reminded me of everything I had lost, and I was ready to offer an awkward correction. Before I could speak, she looked at me with calm, hopeful eyes, smiled with a softness that somehow carried both courage and patience, and quietly answered, "Not yet." In that unexpected moment, surrounded by strangers touring a beautiful home outside Nashville, Tennessee, the future I had stopped believing in suddenly felt possible again. If you believe kindness can heal broken hearts, that hope deserves another chance, and that forgiveness can open doors we thought were closed forever, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue sharing stories that remind us of the good still waiting in this world. My name is Nathan, and a year before that open house, I could barely recognize the person staring back at me in the mirror. My marriage had ended quietly after years of growing apart, not because of betrayal or anger, but because two people had slowly forgotten how to dream together. When the divorce papers were finalized, I sold the house we had built from scratch, packed my belongings into a rented apartment, and convinced myself that starting over at 47 was something other people managed, not me. Every evening felt longer than the last. I buried myself in work, avoided invitations from friends, and told everyone I was fine because saying otherwise made the loneliness feel even heavier. Buying another home seemed less like a celebration and more like an obligation. Renting forever reminded me too much of standing still, so I contacted a local realtor named Rebecca. She wasn't flashy or overly confident. She listened more than she spoke, noticed the little things, and somehow remembered details I had mentioned weeks earlier. She remembered that I wanted a porch where I could drink coffee while watching the sunrise. She remembered that my late father had loved woodworking and suggested homes with garages large enough for a workshop. She never rushed me into making an offer because she understood I wasn't only searching for walls and a roof. I was searching for a reason to believe life could feel like home again. Over the next several months, dozens of properties blurred together. Some were beautiful but felt empty. Others checked every practical box but left my heart untouched. Rebecca never appeared frustrated. Instead, every disappointing visit ended with quiet optimism. She believed the right place would eventually find the right person. At first I thought those were simply encouraging words every realtor learned to say, but as time passed, I realized she genuinely believed them. Outside of house tours, life slowly surprised me. She recommended a neighborhood charity build where volunteers repaired homes for elderly veterans. I agreed mostly to fill another lonely Saturday. Working beside strangers who became friends reminded me how good it felt to laugh without forcing it. Rebecca was there too, covered in sawdust, carrying lumber with the same determination she showed while negotiating contracts. I began seeing her not as someone selling houses but as someone who quietly rebuilt people whenever she had the chance. When she invited me to a community harvest festival after one volunteer event, I hesitated. I worried people would assume we were dating, and I wasn't ready for questions about my past. She simply smiled and said that healing wasn't measured by calendars but by moments when we stopped hiding from life. That evening we wandered through food trucks, local musicians, and children laughing under glowing string lights. For the first time in years, I forgot to check the time because I wasn't waiting for the day to end. Then came the open house that changed everything. The home overlooked rolling green hills with an old oak tree standing proudly in the backyard. It wasn't perfect, but it felt welcoming in a way I couldn't explain. As we explored the kitchen, the elderly couple approached us, assuming Rebecca was my wife. Her unexpected answer, "Not yet," wasn't spoken with embarrassment or pressure. It was spoken with hope, as though she had quietly admitted what neither of us had been brave enough to say aloud. Instead of correcting them immediately, I found myself smiling through tears I hadn't expected. For months she had patiently helped me rebuild confidence without asking for anything in return. In that single sentence, I realized she had become part of every future I had secretly imagined. A few weeks later, I closed on the house beneath that old oak tree. The first piece of furniture inside wasn't expensive. It was the handcrafted workbench I built in memory of my father. Rebecca helped me carry it into the garage, and together we stood there looking at an empty room filled with endless possibilities. Months later, surrounded by family, neighbors, and the friends we had met while volunteering, I asked her if she still meant those two unforgettable words she had spoken at the open house. This time, her smile carried joyful certainty instead of quiet hope. Before this story comes to its close, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us about a moment when life surprised you with unexpected hope or when kindness changed the direction of your journey. Your story may become the encouragement someone else desperately needs today. As the seasons passed, the porch filled with morning coffee, evening conversations, holiday gatherings, and grateful laughter. The house became more than an address. It became proof that some doors don't simply lead into new rooms, they lead into entirely new lives. Nathan learned that healing doesn't always arrive with dramatic miracles. Sometimes it quietly walks beside you through ordinary days until one unexpected moment reveals that your heart has already found its way home. And if this story brought a smile to your face or reminded you never to give up on second chances, please support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with someone who could use a little hope today, subscribing for more uplifting stories, and letting us know in the comments how this journey touched your heart.